Hello everybody, welcome to Ballistics and do some shooting today. Hopefully the weather holds out for us. Kind of showing the background, those thunder clouds and dark and runnable, and that's fall weather for us. Of course, in the springtime, we're going to be grateful for every drop of rain we can possibly get, but hopefully the weather holds out for us. But got my Sabati 450-400 nitro out again. And you know, I did one video on this. I told you guys that I got a lot of work to do with it, so I'm bringing you guys along with it. Man, I have just had a ton of fun with this rifle. Yeah, it's big. Yeah, it kicks. I don't know why I dig it. I just can't tell you how excited I am about this rifle. So my brother's taking this to Africa in July, so that's just a few weeks away. So I'm feeling a little bit of a time crunch, and my personal life is just crazy right now with jobs and all kinds of things going on. So I'm kind of feeling a little pressure to get this guy dialed in. So let me show you the ammo we're gonna be shooting today. Of course, everything we do is hand loaded, and I forgot to bring the foam filler, and because I've had some questions about this. I'll do that on the next video, hopefully, if I remember. But it's some like weather stripping, but it's just foam, and it's about 1 inch in diameter, and it comes in a big roll, and I cut it it's probably a 1/2 inch in diameter, and I cut it about 1 inch long. And that's the filler I use between the bullet and the powder. So this powder charge is only maybe half the case. So been a lot of research done on fillers. You know, this old cartridge was made for the cordite powder, which I know nothing about. So I'm not even going to try to pretend, but I know it's super bulky and would fill the case. Today's modern smokeless powder does not fill the case. I'm using Reloader 15. So anyway, I actually found some of that stuff on the shelf the other day, and I'm embarrassed to tell you what I paid for it, so I'm not going to. But I paid a lot. But I found some, and the guy that I bought the rifle from had about 4 pounds that he sent with it, so I think I'm in pretty good shape powder wise. But that is a gnarly bullet. So this is a cutting edge bullet made in Idaho. For you guys to see, they're calling it I think it's supposed to be a dangerous game, I don't know, something hollow point. On their website, they're calling this the bullet, ideal bullet for Cape Buffalo. That's what my brother's hunting this year. So I bought some of these guys, and I need to show you the bullet. So here's the bullet. I'll try to give you a little bit of close-up. See how this guy's banded? So, you know, our friends at Barnes kind of perfected the banded bullet ideal. So here's a band down here, then these 4 bands here. So the gist of this in a double barrel rifle is, if you guys are familiar with double barrel shotguns, not recommended to shoot steel in double barrel shotguns. I mean, I envision as a bullet or the shot going down the barrels are flexing just ever so slightly. And so these barrels are welded together enough times of them flexing, they're gonna break the welds and you know, cause you problems or bulge the barrels on shotguns. So the research I've done on this is these banded bullets reduce that drag, so to speak, on the barrel, because there's so little contact between the bullet and the rifling in the barrel that it reduces the stress on it. So I think that is incredible technology, because the bands are like 410, 411 bullet diameter, and the body of the bullet is like 400. So there's not a lot of difference, but they've got it figured out that they can shoot these accurately. So to put things in perspective, look how long that bullet is. And it's some type of a brass alloy, so it's lighter than lead. So that's why it's so doggone long. Just to give you a comparison, that is a loaded 44 mag cartridge. Look how big that thing is. It's incredible. So anyway, I'm super excited about it. I'm trying not to talk too much. What we're gonna do today is I've been doing some load development, and I haven't brought you guys along every time I come out to shoot, but the last time I come out, I shot 2 shots almost touching each other, 1 out of each barrel. So I'm super excited about it. So we're gonna try some of that and hopefully beat the rain. So here we go. So the research I've done on this says these double barrel rifles, 450-400 nitro, should regulate well with a 400 grain bullet going that 2100 feet per second. I have not chronographed these. So I'm gonna shoot 2 shots. We'll go look at the target, maybe shoot 2 more after that, look at the target again. And if they're regulating good, if I can do my part, we'll get the chronograph out and see what that is. So here we go. Okay, before we go and look at the target, I want to talk about something that been brought up a lot in the comments. That several commenters, and you guys know I love comments, and sometimes we have a discussion and sometimes we disagree. Isn't that great that people of same interests can have different ideas and different opinions? That's awesome. So even if you think I'm totally wrong, let me know. Let's talk about it. And so I've had a little bit of that with this Sabati. Many comments of, you should be standing, you should be holding the front forearm stock, you should be a lot of different things, and the comments are, because that's what you'll do in the field. Can't disagree at all. 100% agree with just about all of those comments, with a little twist. Today, I'm load developing. What I want to do is take as much human error out of where these two barrels are hitting as possible. Solid rest, setting, all of these things, trying to get as consistent as I can for the mechanical, the mechanics of it. You know, if I got one barrel that's shooting 12 inches high, I won't know it because I'm standing up here on a rest, you know, and I need to practice with that, and that's a skill. That's a different thing. So I agree with those comments in the sense that once I get the gun dialed in, load, bullet, powder, all that business, that both barrels are regulating, I need to spend some time shooting off the standing position, shooting sticks, because in Africa, that's what they do. And maybe you're only going to be shooting at 30 yards or 40 yards. Some of the stuff I've researched, the doggone trains there, but that rarely do you shoot, especially dangerous game, over about 30 yards. And if you guys have experience, please comment, because I don't know that for sure. I've watched a lot of videos since this rifle's come and this Africa trip and whatever that my brother's going on. It seems like that if there is a buffalo at 50 yards, it's pretty rare that the PH will even let you take that shot. They're gonna say, we can get closer. They want you shooting that 30-yard range is what it seems like. So anyway, let's go have a look at the target. Hopefully we got some good holes in the paper. Okay guys, I gotta tell you, I'm pretty frustrated. The last time I shot in this load, I had two holes almost touching each other. I mean, that's a 4-inch apart. So I'm gonna do a 1 right there, just so we know which ones are which, and go try that again. And maybe it was just me. This gun's not easy to shoot. That's my excuse for the day. Okay, we're gonna go have another look. I'll tell you, you guys can see the recoil is pretty substantial in this guy. I don't know, it's interesting. I'm fascinated by these guns, but the sights, if you guys, you know, get on the internet or whatever and look at them, they're very, I mean, they're a really shallow V, not like a U or a buckhorn that we see like on a Model 94. It's very shallow with a white line in it and a bead. I'll try to, maybe I'll grab the rifle, see if you guys. So hopefully you guys can see that, but that V, it is almost flat. And then it's just a brass bead on the front. So the sights are, I mean, this is not a precision rifle, what we're used to, but I'll tell you, it's just super fun to shoot, bottom line. But you guys can see by the way it's recoiling that you touch off the trigger, man, something's happening. So let's go look at the target. Well guys, I'm disappointed. So this is the right barrel, 100% sure. This is the left barrel. I'm shooting the gun consistently, but look where the regulation is. It just ain't that great. Okay, I think I'm gonna shoot 2 more shots, see what we have, and then kind of back to the drawing board. So something interesting, when I first was looking at buying this rifle, I scoured YouTube to try to find someone doing what I'm doing today, and I could not find one. Lots of videos of people shooting them, and almost the, you know, it's almost the theatrics of how much this guy kicks, and you know, there's a lot of hunting videos with people hunting, but doing what I'm doing, I could not find a video on it. So I don't know, hope you guys find it interesting. So the stuff I've read and the guy I bought the rifle from, the rule of thumb is, if you're not regulating correctly, you need more velocity. And you know, when we're shooting our 223s or our 308s and you start changing powder charges, you go by, you know, a half a grain or a few tenths of a grain. On this guy, you go by 2 grain increments, which is interesting. the gun's not building any pressure. The empty cases just fall out. So I know that I'm not anywhere near over pressuring the gun. So I think I'm gonna shoot 2 more, and then I will probably load with 2 more grains of powder than what I'm using right now. The frustrating thing about this to me is, I did this one time without the camera rolling. I shot 2 shots. They were about that same regulation. Not great. I thought, well, I'll shoot 2 more. I shoot 2 more, they're almost touching each other. So that tells me that, you know, I must have been just holding the sight a little bit different. For me personally, as an individual, I feel like I'm shooting the gun good because I'm getting good groups. I mean, you think about taking your 30-30 rifle and going to go shoot open sights at 50 yards at a target and shoot those kind of groups, you'd feel like you was doing pretty good. I certainly would. So I feel like I'm shooting the gun good, which is important to me. I just don't know if we got the right load. So anyway, enough talking. We're gonna do 2 more shots and then probably wrap the video up. Now I'm kind of hoping that I can keep this consistency. And then I'll just load another batch with 2 more grains of powder and see what happens. All right, guys, well, I was just gonna show you about unloading this. They just fall out. So there's no pressure at all on those cases. So I got room to go up. So let's go look at the target. Okay, so interesting thing. So here's one group. This is the right barrel, I'm 100% certain. That's just over an inch group. Should have brought the tape measure, but that's about an inch group. So here's out of the left barrel. Slightly more, that's maybe an 1.5 or 2 inch group. To me, the gun is shooting solid, just not regulated right. All right, guys, well, we almost made it through there with no rain, and we didn't.